Money, money for yourself.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. What's good? Thank you, money getters who have come in and went ahead and hit that thumbs up for your girl. What's good, everybody? It's your girl Charity, the mommy money getter. And you guys saw the thumbnail. Tonight, we're going to get into some things about love and relationships, right? And should we go backwards? Or should we just keep going straight ahead? Let me know if I'm good on the sound. My glasses situation is terrible, so I can't really see. I'm having to readjust my glasses. I gotta make my way back to Kaiser so that I could get my glasses readjusted. That will happen sometime soon, hopefully tomorrow. I've been really busy with a lot of things with content creation, going live and whatnot. It's been a lot, but I've been enjoying myself. What about you guys? I see I got and what's up, girl? I got the real diva in here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you for stopping by. I know that for some of you, it's actually about 10 o'clock, right? After 10. I'm here on the West Coast, so it's still kind of early for me. It's still daylight outside. Hey, relax too. Thank you for joining my live. And like I said, I watched Nelly and Ashanti today on the Breakfast Club talking about their relationship and their new reality show. And I got that ideal. Okay, let me talk about that tonight on my channel. Um, and I just wanted to know, what do you guys think about going backwards and getting back with someone who you had a relationship with in the past? Is it worth it? But before we get into that, a few announcements. I'm still doing the Money Getter Challenge. So if you haven't got on that challenge yet, please do so. You still have an opportunity to win the $100 cash app prize. You can post as many shorts as you want to, but be sure that you use the hashtag Mommy Money Getter, of course. And also, um, you can do as many shorts as you want, but I'm gonna choose only one video. So whichever video has the most likes, then that's the video that will win. And I'll be running the contest until July 1st. So on the second around 12, uh, after 12 in the afternoon, I'll announce the winner. You must have Cash App and you must be a US citizen in order to be in the contest. So there's that. Also, tomorrow night at Candy K says about 5:05 Pacific time, 7:07 Central, 7:05 Central time. So join Candy K. If you're not following her, please follow Candy K all day. You can go to my community wall and you can look at the flyer for that collab that I'm doing with her tomorrow. And I also added her, so you can click on that ad and it will take you to her page. And You can follow her if you would like, and put your notification bell on so you don't forget to tune in. Kendi says we're going to have a good time, and I believe her. I love her channel. So there's that. Beyond that, I'm just, excited about tonight's live. I'm doing the live from StreamYard, so I'd like for guests to come up and join me if they would like to. They can go ahead and click that link. I pinned it in the comments, so if you would like to join me and give your little 2 cents, put in your 2 cents about tonight's topic, then I'm game for that too. As long as you don't come up here using profanity or acting a fool, I will quickly block you with the quickness. So, like I said, let's get to it. How are you all feeling tonight? Let me know before we get started. How's it going? And my sound is going in and out. Okay, how about now? It's 10:34 for you where you are? Real Diva, you guys are on the East Coast, and I really appreciate you all for tuning in. Let me see what I can do about that sound situation. Give me 1 second. Um, oh, okay, so put a one in the chat. Samir Gooden, thank you for joining. I'm doing great. What about yourself? Can you please put a one in the chat if you can hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat. Okay, so you can hear me. Okay, so Nelly and Ashanti. Everybody knows Nelly is what getting hot in here. What else is he known for? Uh Nelly's a rapper. He does a sing song raps. He had a big song, a big country song. Nelly has been mostly doing a lot of reality shows, acting here and there. He hasn't done a lot in music, but I guess he's been touring somewhat lately. Okay. Uh, who was that just tried to get on? Let me see. Okay. Hey, Ann, how are you doing? Thanks for coming up and
All
joining
right.
the panel. How are you doing? I see you're in bed, girl.
I'm relaxing in bed.
And you look so young. You're always talking about your sons and how they're older.
Yeah,
You don't look like you have adult sons. So let's
I'm
let's just start right
56 years
there.
old.
You look good, Miss Lady. How's it
Thank
going?
you. It's going all right.
Thank
Just
you
took
for
me a
tuning
shower and got
in.
in
I
the
appreciate you for coming
bed.
up
You're
and
welcome. I'm gonna
joining the
turn
panel tonight. So,
on. Okay.
Nelly and Ashanti, right? They were together about a decade ago, and then they ended up rekindling their old relationship, right? And so, time you see Nelly and Ashanti these days, both of them have the biggest, widest smiles on their face. They look so happy. They got married and they have a new baby. So, their relationship and the love that they're sharing and seem to be exuding into the world has some people thinking, should I get back with my ex? And I just want to know from you, do you have that one ex that you consider getting back with? Or have you ever spun the block and got back with the ex? And how did that work out?
Well, I did. I get back with one of my ex, and it didn't go well.
You want to share why?
Um, he was still doing drugs and drinking and
Ooh.
acting crazy. Didn't want to provide, and it just got worse. It didn't get better.
So is that why you guys weren't able to be in a relationship, or
That's why.
that's why you broke up to begin with? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good reason to to keep it pushing. So why do you think you got back? Was he sober when he first got back with you? Or did you think, well, maybe I can change him?
Well, I thought he would change himself, and then he was sober, but he got back into doing what he was doing,
Mm,
drugs, drinking, partying. He wasn't, just serious about nothing.
yes, that's definitely a reason to keep it pushing. If someone is
Mhm.
addicted to
And then got
drugs
the
or
fight.
alcohol, then they're really not present for the other person in the relationship. No matter how
Yeah,
hard they try, their addiction is going to come first, right? So yeah,
right.
I feel you. Um, so but being that you ended up breaking up with him due to his substance abuse, would you recommend that somebody give someone else a chance if there is no substance abuse history or abuse history? Say like if somebody cheats or something like that, or
Mhm.
you just couldn't get along, would you try it again? Like if he wasn't doing drugs outside of that, was the love still there?
Yeah. I would say if the man is genuine with his love and he gonna do right. But see, this man was abusive also, so I advise people,
Mm,
in an abusive relationship, get out. It ain't worth it. Your
yeah,
life, your
I
peace.
think that a lot of women go back to men who have abused them, thinking that, oh, he's going to change or he'll make promises, and maybe for like a week or two, or even a month or two, he'll change. But I think that once somebody has abused you, it's really hard for them not to do it again. Like I just don't
Yeah.
really see. I don't really see any reason to go back to somebody once they have physically harmed you, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to do it again.
Hmm.
Right.
Right. And that's what he did. He did it again.
Yeah. Was that why you guys broke up, or was it the addiction?
It was both.
It was both. It was he was putting hands on you, and plus he was,
Mhm.
yeah. So I get
Yeah,
that.
he was fighting, and I
I'm
got
glad.
tired. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. You know what, Ann? I'm glad that you loved yourself enough and had enough assertiveness to leave that situation, because a lot of women don't get out of situations like that.
Then they'll unalive them too.
I hear about that a lot. There's a couple of channels that I watch here and there, but I try not to because it's just so draining on on
Yeah.
my emotions.
Listen.
But I mean, it's just story after story, and these content creators could post a new story like every day. That's how many women are being
Excuse me.
abused and unalived.
Yeah. It's
So
scary
that's
to me. You
it's very scary. So I'm glad you came up and spoke about it. Thank you. Um,
will.
I'm glad that you're a survivor and that you were able to move on and, learn from that experience, because so many women don't live to tell the story.
Nope. They really don't.
So if you're watching this, ladies and men, because men can be abused too, especially
Mm.
emotionally abused. I see men go through a lot of drama with their exes, with their baby mamas. They uh, are heavily mentally abusive towards men sometimes, and it's toxic. And the man just finds himself constantly going back and saying, well, she has my child. That's my baby mama, and she's calling the police on him. I've seen women do that, start fights with men, and then call the police if the man defends himself, or they'll just start stuff with him and go to his house and start tearing up his car or doing things to get attention from him,
Mhm.
showing up at the man's job and all of that good stuff. So, well, all of that bad stuff. So, hey, V, thank you for joining. You're in the bushes. Hey, you know what? I appreciate that too. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit the like button. Um, but yes, so it does happen to me, and I've seen men and family members who are involved in toxic relationships with women. The women are jealous. The women don't want them to leave their side. They are very controlling. So it happens to men and it happens to women. You know. So
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is a man bashing session, because
Mm-mm.
it's not.
It's
However,
vice
I think that
versa.
go ahead and.
I say it's vice versa. We have abusive women too.
Absolutely. And uh, whatever side of the coin you are on, if you are in that type of relationship, that is definitely not the the type of relationship that I would want to see somebody be in. Hey,
Mm-mm.
Janine, hello. How are you tonight? What's going on? Queen, how are you? We're talking about love and relationships and going back to that one person, because it's usually that one person that you always have in the back of your mind, right? I know I still have somebody in the back of my mind, and sometimes I get sad about them. However, in my case, there's nothing I could do about it. They have gone on to glory. But I did go back to that guy a few times, quite a few times. And it never worked out well. So if you're me and if I look at my history, I would say no, no, don't do it. But thank you for coming up and talking about it.
You're
If
welcome.
anybody else would like to come up and talk about their
I'm gonna leave
experience,
off the live now, but I'm gonna stay on here.
all right. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay.
I mean, for
You're
coming up and
welcome.
talking.
You're
If
welcome.
anybody, thank you, Ann. Thank you as always for all your support. I appreciate you. If any of you want to come up and talk about your spinning the block experience, hit that link in the chat. It's pinned to the chat all the way up at the top. Just scroll up, it's right there. And you can talk about your spinning the block experience or if you would never go back, right? Because some loves, even though you love that person, and even though you know that person really love you, it just could never be, right? I don't know why it could never be. You guys just don't work, right? If you guys are in the same room, it's so much passion, it's so much love there, but he's one way and you're one way, and you just can't get it together, right? Maybe he cheated, or maybe you wasn't there when he really needed you, right? The sound is better now. Thank you. What's good entertainment you love? How are you doing tonight? Sis, we're talking about, and Smooth, what's good, buddy? We're talking about spinning the block on exes. And Yo, I know you don't have that experience. You've been with your boo for a long time, you and your husband. But maybe you can add to the conversation still. Um, and you too, Smooth, you know, we got on you about spinning the block the other night, right? So Nelly and Ashanti, they look like they appear. We don't know for sure because things can look one way and be another way behind the scenes, right? But they look like they are doing really good. Like when you see them, he's smiling from ear to ear. I mean, it's like he looks silly, like somebody had slapped him with the silly stick, right? And she seems so happy and so in love. So, would you guys recommend spinning the block with that one guy that you really like? Hit the link and let me know. Come on up and let's chat about it. Hey, Big Bad Aussie, how are you tonight? You'll never spin the block. When it's over, Deneen. Well, I was saying before you came in, or I don't know if you were in the bushes listening, but I have spun the block many times. With let me see. There was this one guy that actually, when I was a teenager, we kind of hung out or whatever. And then when we became adults later on, like maybe I want to say 14, 15 years later, we kind of rekindled something, but it didn't really go anywhere. I don't think he was really serious. And plus, I was dating, so I was seeing a few people. So I'm glad I was seeing a few people because that could have went left, right? But there are, like, of course, I always went back to my husband. I was kind of like one Smeech uh, McIntyre, right? I was always taking my husband back. Yeah, sometimes people do walk away on good terms. Yo. Big Dean, you said it depends on how things ended between us. Right. Now, in the past, okay, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Um, you guys, did you hit my like button when you came in? Go ahead and hit my like button for me. But in the past, your girl was really toxic. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know I don't act like that, but you know, 'cause I'm real classy. But your girl used to be really toxic. So I know I was part of the problem and probably they were part of the problem. So it's a 50-50 type thing. But um, I think, and I said to myself, moving forward, I wouldn't go backwards again. I did say that. I said I wouldn't go back with anybody because if if it was really anything to be had, we would still be together, right? Chilling with Big Dean says, absolutely, but there's times you have to look at the pros and cons of the relationship of both ends. Jeannie says, been there, done that, not again, good terms or not. Um, I agree, because I did it a couple of times. I'm the type of person, I've only had a few relationships, right? In my adult life, maybe like three, right? And three or four, maybe five. I don't know who's counting. But listen, um, I don't think, and I would say the most recent guy that I was dating, I gave him a couple of chances too, and it wasn't ever a bad thing between us, but it just was like, okay, you're not into me like that. You're not really putting forth the effort like you should be, and so I don't want to wait around on anybody to realize you know, I'm that girl because I am, right? So that's why I say, is it a good idea? That's why I ask that question. Thanks for hitting that like as soon as you joined in, Big Deem. I appreciate that. Smooth says, yeah, because why spend a block when you should stay off the street? Right, right. Um, but maybe it's been a good 10 years since you last saw that person. And maybe you guys didn't end on exactly good terms, but both of you have done some growing up. Because to be honest, sometimes young love has its issues with people needing to mature. Sometimes it's the case that, you know, you have to gain some emotional intelligence and just really become selfless, right? Because as humans, we can be selfish and want what we want and not really be willing to bend. So after doing some growing up and making some adjustments um, in our mindsets, we are able to see that person in a different way, right? So what if that's your one chance? What if you are single, they are single, you're like me, you're in your 40s or 50s? What if that's your one chance at love and it comes back around for you and you see that person, you're a guy and you see that woman and she used to be toxic before. She used to always have to have the last word, but now she's calmer. She's letting you have your say. She's not trying to overtalk you. Or what if that guy who always had to party with his friends, now he's chilling. Now he's willing to kick it at home with you for cozy dinners and, you know, a little Netflix and chill type situation. What about if you're a little older and now you have that second chance at love? Hey, Joyce, thanks for tuning in. And I know what you would say, Joyce. You've been married for forever, and once you're done, you're done. Stick a fork in it, right? Jeannie, we can be the best friends, but not in a relationship. Chilling with Big Dean says, yeah, she'll possibly be my wife, especially if she got a better mindset. I agree with that because, like I was saying, sometimes it's not that that person is not right for you. It's not the right time, right? And we go through different seasons in life, and sometimes uh, You might be ready, but that person is not. I'm not saying that you should hold on and wait forever for somebody, because I wouldn't uh, dare suggest that anybody should be a holding, you know, like be an old step for somebody. Continue to go on with your life. But if it should happen that you and that person stumble upon each other's life again, then maybe, right? It feels like the perfect love story to me. Like, I already know you, you already know me, and we have history together. It's just that it didn't work in the past. That person has had their season. You think so, Jeannie? Right, Big Dean. Timing is very important. Um, because sometimes you meet somebody, right? And you start dating them, but maybe they got out of a different relationship and maybe they're just now dating. And so, or maybe you meet someone and they haven't completely healed from what they were going through as a child or in a prior relationship, and they're the perfect person for you, but they're just not ready emotionally, right? Because they have some healing to do. Like if somebody stumbled upon me, then who knows what they'll get. I'm like happy, I'm at peace. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm at the most peaceful I've ever been, but I'm not really ready to suffer fools. I'm not really ready for games. So if you stumbled upon somebody like me, then you're not going to get somebody that's going to really be for games, right? So, or that's going to wait around and wait and see how things work out. Like it either is going somewhere or it's not. Yes, you do have to learn to grow and grow with somebody. Right. So yeah, do you think that what's the question I want to ask? Do you think that what Nelly and Ashanti have, do you think that that's possible for most people, or is that something that probably a one in a million type situation? Because hey, K Money, you subscribed. Hey Money, I thought you were already subscribed to my channel. What do you mean subscribed? You should have subscribed a long time ago. You're here every day. Stop playing. You're in your healing season as well, and I think a lot of us are healing, especially at our age. If you're 30 and up, you have probably had at least one uh, one long-term relationship or one relationship that was serious, right? And so once you get about 35, 45, 50, if you find yourself single, then you're probably making some adjustments with your mindset and coming to peace with where you are at in life. And if you're doing it right, then you're not for any okey doke, right? You don't want to just go backwards and just be with someone just to be with them, because I think that's what a lot of people do too. Um, that person has always been around. Usually that's what happens, right? It's definitely a possibility, but you have to sit down and think about the obstacles and hurdles that you were going through in the beginning. But if you both agree to rekindle the relationship, right, Big Dean, you have to weigh the pros and cons. Um, Anne was stating earlier that she went back or to a relationship, but it didn't work out because some of the same issues that they experienced before, they were still experiencing. I think that it would be prudent to really take stock of who that person is currently and make your decision based on that before you start dating them again or before you say yes to a relationship again. Take your time to understand or really look at how they're living today. What is it? Is it, do they still have the same personality traits? And maybe they can hide it for a little bit, but after a while, it'll show up. Hey, Mama 3, thank you for tuning in. How are you doing tonight? We are talking about love and relationships and spinning the block. Is that a good or bad idea? Hey, Angelica Page. Yes, Nelly and Ashanti are married in real life. They are married and they have a baby. They have a reality show on Peacock. I don't subscribe to Peacock, but I'm thinking about subscribing to Peacock because Ashanti has always been very private, right? And she hasn't really let the world into her life. So it's interesting to see her doing that now. Um, I don't know if they'll show their little baby. They have been private about their child. They haven't shown their baby at all. I guess the baby is almost a year old. So, but it would be interesting to see. And I just hope that they're not making a big mistake with putting their love on display for the world to see because quite frankly, what usually when people go online and or start a reality show, the relationship doesn't last very long. So um I love love. I love black love specifically. So I hope they'll be okay after all of this is said and done. Yes, me and Michael were like love and basketball. We knew each other at the ages of 7 and 8 years old, and we have a history, a long-term relationship. Wow, that's crazy that you knew him since you were very young and you guys were able to uh just keep going after all those years. I know there's a lot of love there. I hope that Michael can get himself clean, even if you don't end up in a relationship with him. And I hope he can get himself clean and you all can at least have your friendship, right? Yes, Deneen, Nelly and Ashanti have a reality show. They were on The Breakfast Club. I watched that interview a little bit earlier today. That's why I got that's how I got the topic for tonight's live that I'm doing. But they were on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne and what's his name? Envy. And they did an interview earlier to promote the show. So you can catch that on YouTube, I believe. That's where I watched it at. Yes, Big Dean. Black love is truly a beautiful thing. Love and Basketball is my mother's, and she's listening. She's in the bushes, but that's her favorite show, her favorite movie, favorite movie. And especially that part when they say, I play you for your heart, and he says double or nothing. That is her favorite part of Love and Basketball. And with my ex, we were kind of like that. We knew each other when we were in our teens, and then we just went through life together. He saw me go through breakups. I saw him go through breakups. So it was kind of interesting. And everybody, especially my family, my mom and my grandmother were rooting for us, but we did end up getting a divorce. But even after divorce, we still were like pulled towards each other like a magnet. So it was really hard for us to keep apart, but it was still very toxic. It was a very toxic relationship. So, um, and before him, I was in a relationship and it didn't turn out well. And I just feel like with me, I feel like I don't think I would do that again. I don't think I would be in a relationship unless I knew that that person was really somebody that I could love and trust and somebody that was mature and had their head on straight, right? Like, I think at my age, I should probably be with somebody at this age who isn't about games and who is very mature. So I don't think I would have the issues that I had before. And then also, I have done a lot of growing, right? I have learned from mistakes and things like that. So I don't think I would be interested in going backwards because, like I said, from my past history, I seen that that wasn't really a good ideal. Not as far as I'm concerned. Okay, who do I got in here with me tonight? Oh, okay. Right, Big Dim. You have to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And you're right. You gotta love you more. And I think loving you more just means that you know when to say when. It doesn't mean that you don't love that other person, but you love yourself enough to know, hey, this isn't working out for me. And no matter how much I want it to work, I can't be in a situation where I don't feel like that love is being reciprocated, right? Because you can love somebody and you can want what's best for them, but they don't love you back the same way, right? And if somebody mistreated you in the past, I can't see a reason why you should give that person another chance, because basically what you would be doing is give them another chance to hurt you again, right? Right, V. Sometimes an ex is an ex for a reason. Um, what would be a reason that you could overlook? Say, okay, I think we discussed earlier, well, we did discuss earlier that abuse is definitely a reason why you should leave somebody in the past. Um, what about cheating? What if somebody cheated on you in the past, right? And it's been a few years down the line. Could you take back somebody that you broke up with due to cheating? Or like what would be a good reason for you to get back with somebody? Even if they cheated or they did something wrong in the past, how would you know if you're making a good decision, or what will make you want to take that chance again? Um, I'm looking for somebody to come up and tell me how they feel about that. Like, come on up here. I'll put the link back in the chat so you don't have to scroll all the way up. And speak what's on your heart. Say what's on your mind. Fellas, do you have that one girl that you wish things could have been different with? Ladies, do you have that one guy from your past, no matter how long ago it was, that every now and again he just comes to the forefront of your mind and you think, wow, we could have been something good. Like, if only. Let me know. Nope, I'm going to still remember you cheated. Right. Um, I used to think that, or I used to feel that cheating wasn't a deal breaker, but cheating is a deal breaker. Cheating is a deal breaker, and it should be, because if you're with somebody and they step out, they're giving something that is supposed to be for you and only you to someone else, right? They're allowing someone else to see the things that they do with you. They're not allowing someone else into that space that they share with you. And that's dishonest, it's breaking trust, it's a break breakdown of loyalty. Like, if I can't trust you and you sleep in a bed next to me, who can I trust, right? Like, I'm sleeping with an op. You're an op. And cheating, if somebody cheats on you, if somebody steps out and does that, shares what is yours, not that you own that person, but we are doing this. We're like this. We're locked in like this. We're sleeping together. We're breathing the same air. Nobody else is as close to me as a person who enters my body. Okay? That's something different altogether. And if I got to share that with somebody else, I don't want it. Okay, let me go up and get into the chat and see what you guys are saying. Big Dean says, you're definitely staying in the past if you cheated on me. V says, not wanting to have children, maybe down the line, you change your mind and the opportunity to reunite presents itself. Yeah, that's a good reason, because sometimes people have different wants and needs in a relationship, and neither party is willing to make that adjustment, right? And so, but I think that if you are married, you should have already made that decision. But somebody may be in a relationship and say, well, I didn't want children at first and I thought I could deal with that, but now I know that I do want children. And if you don't, then I want to end the marriage and go with somebody else, right? Um, I think that's a valid reason to break up. But I think that if somebody says they don't want children and they're very dogmatic about it, I think 9 times out of 10, they're not going to change their mind about that. And if they do, it's just to console you, but they never really want that child. I don't know. I could be wrong. Um, if they go to Ann says if they go to counseling and get some help for cheating, then a person can go back if they want to. Um, I think if they're willing to do the work and they're honest and sincere about that, and they're taking the steps to show that have changed, um, then you can take that chance on them if you want to, because all you can do is go by what somebody shows you, right? And you never know if they'll go back to cheating or not. And if the love is still there and they've done the work, at least they put forth the effort, and you didn't just take them back and after they went out cheating. I will say this: if you're going to take somebody back after cheating, then at least give them the opportunity to show you and prove to you that they have made that change. Don't just wait a week and say, okay, I'm going to take you back. Or don't just wait a month or so. Let them show you, let them do the work. Let them wine and dine you, or not even just wine and dine you, court you. Show up with flowers, show a contrite spirit, show that they really have made that adjustment and that they really have done the work to move forward more maturely and make better decisions. Because I think sometimes people take a cheater back way too soon. Now, I think you shouldn't take a cheater back because that's the ultimate form of disloyalty. And usually, if you take them back, to be quite honestly, if you take a cheater back, 9 times out of 10, they're going to cheat again and again and again. Jeannie says no to cheating and to emotional or physical abuse. I agree, Jeannie. I'm okay, Yo. You've been working overtime, Yo. Thank you for tuning in. I know you're tired. You've been doing your thing today. It's all good. Ann says when a man physically puts his hands on you, that's hard to go back to. I will advise him not to go back. Yes, that's dangerous. That's like playing Russian roulette with your life. And even if a man doesn't hit anymore, most times he's still emotionally abusive. He's still abusive in some ways, because somebody who just imagine you taking your hands and putting them on a woman, right? Something is kind of messed up in your mind, right? And I know that sometimes men have to grow up because men are physical creatures, right? And sometimes it takes some growing up. But I do know that quite often, even once the physical abuse stops, the abuse occurs in some other way. So you're really taking a chance that you would go through mental anguish, or even worse, taking them back could result in you losing your life. Jeannie says cheating is not about us. It is something wrong with them that they need to help with, just like abuse. I agree, Jeannie. Sometimes though, sometimes you can be in a relationship and sometimes you can grow apart. But at that time, I think Smooth said this before. He said that you should let that other person know that you're feeling some type of way, right? Don't just expect them to read your mind, or don't expect that that person knows what you're going through, because they may not even know that you feel abandoned, or that you feel like you don't get the love that you used to get. Or that person may be consumed with work or with the children, and they're too tired to care about your needs, right? So, excuse me, guys. So yeah, if that person feels like they want to go out and cheat, or like somebody at work looks attractive or is calling them, right? Calling out to them, then they should go to their partner and try to work out whatever issues they may be having. Because if they don't, it's usually because they want to cheat anyway and they're just looking for an excuse, or it's because they haven't really been honest and open about their feelings. And I think coming back later and saying, hey, um, this is what I was going through. That's why I cheated. You were paying too much attention to the babies. You were working too much. Hey, you should have said, hey, make time for me. I'm not a mind reader. And I know I've been working a lot, but I have a lot of demands at work. I'm trying to get a promotion or we need the money. I can't stop working because we just bought a house and you have a new car and I have a new car. I thought you understood. I thought we were in this together. Here I am working so that we can keep the things that we have and live uh, and have financial stability. I'm thinking that we're a team doing this together. And the whole time here you are feeling like, well, I don't see you as much. You're working too much. I could take a part-time job if it's like that. If me being home is more important to you than us being able to have that extra vacation money or us being able to have drive 2 new cars, I can stay home. How about I stay home and you go work? So when you come home, I'm here for you and you don't have to worry about it. Or I can work less and we'll just figure it out. But if you cheat, then that's saying that you weren't willing to put the work into your marriage, right? You weren't willing to say, hey, I see things are going wrong. Because, like, even with myself, right? I saw that I gained a lot of weight in the last 6 or 7 months. And I'm like, why am I eating more? Why am I gaining weight? And I realized I had to make an adjustment and go back to the things that helped me not use food for my emotions or get stressed and stay up later. I had to go back to my praying and reading in the morning, reading the Bible in the morning. I had to go back to stirring up the spirit with gospel music in the morning. I had to go back to doing all the things that worked for me in the past, right? Same thing with your relationship. You have to take stock of whatever's going on and whatever may be amiss, right? And then you have to do the work. The same way you have to do the work to cheat. Do that work in your relationship. Because if you're not willing to do that, then you're saying you're no longer a part of the marital team. You broke ranks, right? And you're building a team with somewhere else, emotionally, at least. So you cheat, let me know you were looking for it out, right? Because that's usually what I think the other person is saying in some ways, that they don't really want to be in that relationship anymore. And sometimes this is what happens, right? People will break up with somebody because they think the grass is greener on the other side. And then they find out, wait a minute, she don't know my favorite foods. She don't know that I don't like, she don't know what kind of underwear I wear. She don't know that I like my water with ice in it. She don't know none of the things I like my wife knew. She doesn't know that at certain times of the year I get to acting a little bit distant because that's when my mother and father got a divorce. She doesn't know that when I go off into my shell, that it's not because of her, that sometimes I just have a little depression that I deal with and it takes me a day or two to adjust and I'm right back in it. But my wife knew when to let me have my space. And my wife knew how to, help me through my bouts of depression. And she was there for me. But this new girl that I'm with, when I'm going through things, she takes it personal. She wants to go out with her friends. She wants to start cursing me out and put me out because I'm doing some of the same things that my wife accepted. She don't know. She don't know nothing. She don't even know you. She don't even know you. She don't even know that you that you like to have tacos, your tacos. You don't like chicken. You only like ground beef tacos. She don't know nothing about you. See, that's what you get. Bring my man home. No, just playing. Keep him. Keep him. And I'll let you figure out how he likes his tacos and how he likes his enchiladas because he didn't want mine anymore. But then what he try to do? What does that man try to do? He starts calling you up, wanting to get back home, wanting to get back in after he spent whatever time with her. Don't you let that man back in. That is not a good example of when you should spin the block. Let's just put that right there. No grass, all dirt, right, yo yo. Yeah, that's what now that's what this group I belong to on Facebook. They say if he mess up, block him so he doesn't even have an opportunity. But if he knows where your mama live at, that joker will try to come and ease his way back in through your mama now, right? He might show up at your job. And don't talk about me and use me as a scapegoat to get some outside cat. Right. That's another thing too. They'll talk about you like a dog to the next woman. And she'll fall for it until she gets him and sees that he ain't about crap. Deneen says it could be a woman who is a compulsive cheater as well. Right. It could be the woman too. But whether it's the man or the woman, if somebody is cheating on you, they don't love you. They don't love themselves because if you love yourself, you don't need to cheat. And some men will say, well, that's not what that means because cheating is just sometimes an act. But if you love yourself, why would you be spreading yourself out to any woman? Why would you be out there taking a chance of getting a disease or bringing one home to your mate? It is definitely safe for you to be here, Ozzy. This is a safe space for everyone. Okay? This is not a male bashing live. We're just talking about when is it a good idea to spin the block, go back around and see if what you can see. You know what I mean? Or is that ever a good idea? Should you just keep on trucking along, keep on moseying on? You see him, but no. You know what? You still look good, but no, I'll pass. Yeah, we used to do our thing together. Yes, I know how you are in bed, but I'm gonna go on about my business because if I get back with you, I'm gonna hurt you this time. When you're single, absolutely not. Of course, when you're single, Ozzy, you don't want to get with somebody and you're with somebody else, right? Maybe, maybe you were young, right? Maybe it was a high school fling. Maybe you guys got to college and maybe you were studying and into the books. He was a jock and he was into football and trying to go to the NFL or whatever it is these guys do when they are on these football teams. Who knows? Or maybe, you know, you just weren't willing to give him what he wanted at that time. Maybe he did want to marry you, but you felt like you were too young and you wanted to explore the world. You wanted to date more as a woman, right? Guys can feel like that too. Yes, I like you. Yes, I love you, but I'm only 21. I don't want to be committed right now. I want to date. I want to explore the world. I want to get out there and date and see other things. Hey, Elevated Chills, what's good? How are you tonight? Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about spinning the block, sir. Have you ever spent the block on an X? Yes, B3, get up here. Let's see what you're talking about. Or whoever wants to get up here. I have the link um pinned to the comments if you want to join and let us know about your spinning the block experience. I want to hear a good spinning the block experience. Either one that went really sour or one that was a 10 out of 10. You guys ended up getting married and you guys are together now and everything is just everything. Elevated says spinning the block is against his religion. Why, Elevated? Oh, you said you have, but you will never do it again. B says I got married and had my kids young. How do we feel about that? About you getting married and having your kids young? Well, I don't know. I said I would never do it again. Elevated. It's so ghetto. I mean, really, really ghetto. I would never do it again. Um, Especially because I was toxic. And so were they, big toxic with the T, capital T. So I would never do that again. I would highly do not recommend. Go straight ahead. But in some cases, like, is there that one person that I would get back with? No, I can't see it. I can't see it at all. There's like no need, right? Um, because in my mind, if it was really all of that, we would be together, right? People having kids and getting married. You never had an ex out, Ozzy, you still with the same person, or you never been in a relationship. Is that what you're saying? Um, yeah, people are, I see a lot of people getting married young. And I think those relationships last just as long as people who get married when they're older, if not longer, because they don't really have a lot of experience to compare their relationship to. And usually when you get married when you're young, it's because you really um love each other. It's not based on a time schedule. Usually, if people get married in their 30s, they're usually doing it because it's like, okay, I feel my biological clock ticking. If I'm a woman, or if you're a male, you're probably feeling like, okay, maybe I should settle down now so I don't end up alone. But when you're young and in love, it's not out of necessity, right? You're doing it because you really love each other and you don't want to be with, or you don't see yourself loving someone else, right? And then when you're young, if you're a woman, you probably don't have a man too. I don't want to be sexist here, but usually when you're 21, you don't have a lot of uh, prior experiences to compare your mate to. But at 30 and 40, you have had experiences if you met someone when you're that age and you haven't been with them for a long time. So you do have other people that you could, well, this one was like this, and well, he's like that. And when I used to be with so and so, they weren't like that. But so, you know what I mean? So I think that young marriages can stand the test of time. And I've seen quite a few of them do that. You got married at 20. Ooh, that is young. When I was 20, I said I would never get married. I said I never wanted to get married at 20. Maybe just have a boo. Because even right now, and I still take that same sentiment with me. I carry that same sentiment. I do not want to be married. I'm cool to live alone. Maybe we visit each other at each other's houses. Maybe we date, but I don't want to marry someone either. Marriage is very much a ghetto for some people. If you're like me, because I'm a introvert anyway. I like to have time to myself. I like to spend a lot of time alone. So, like, if I were to get married, that person would have to understand that I'm that type of person that likes to be pensive and am alone with my thoughts. I don't like to do a lot of talking, and I don't like to share my headspace with somebody else. So, but yeah, that's big. How are you guys doing now? Well, don't say that. I don't know if you guys are still married or not. Are you still married, V? Are you still married to your husband? If you get married, you'll be chilling, right? And I think that's because I think one reason is because I had children young. And I was a public servant for a long time. So I think that I've been a caregiver for so long. I come from a big family. So I've always had a lot of people around me. So I think that's probably why I like to be alone with my thoughts and keep it quiet. Like my house is always quiet. And my kids are even like that. They'll talk, but then they're like, okay, mom, because I'll check on them throughout the day. If we're not out and about doing something, like if they're in their rooms, I'll check on them like, hey, what's going on? Or if I feel like sometimes my kids will go a while without talking to me and I'll have to go check on them and say, come on, let's go out and go do something. Let's go shopping or something like that. You said not you, you like to talk. Yo, I know you like to talk. I mean, I will say this about me. I like to talk. I don't know how much I like to listen. I like to say what's on my mind and then go back to my thoughts. So I don't know if I'll always be like that, but I think probably in this season of my life, I probably need a few years of just aloneness because I never really had that. And I'm cool to have that. It took me a while. It took some getting used to, but I like it. I love it. I really, really love it. Your 35, your oldest child is 18 and just graduated high school. That's awesome. I had a daughter who just graduated from high school as well, and that was such an exciting time for us. She's the third child, and my child that graduated before her was like 7 years ago. So it's been quite a different a gap in time since I had a child graduated from high school. So it was really exciting. When you turn 35, that's still pretty young. 35, they say is middle age, but people are living longer, like into their 80s, 90s, and 100s. So 35 is still quite young, right? And you've been married for 15 years. And I know that sometimes you may think to yourself, like, what would life be like if I had got married so young? But trust me, you missed out on a lot of bad stuff. Be glad that you have your person. And hopefully, I pray that all is well, that you guys get along well, because as much as I don't want to be married, I believe in marriage. I believe in the sanctity of merit of a marriage. And I believe that if you're going to be in a relationship, it should be with somebody you're married to. I don't believe in shacking up and all that different stuff. Although if I do end up with somebody else, it would be half shack, half marriage. He'll have to have his own house and he can come shack with me sometimes. Yeah. So there's that. But back to our conversation. Nobody ever gave me an example of when they got back with an ex and it went really, really bad or really, really good. I'm not going to let up on that. I know somebody has a good story to tell. I want to hear it. And no, I won't judge. I'll just listen. So if you want to come up on the panel and talk about it, please come up and talk about it. Anne already came up and talked about her prior spinning the block experience and her regrets about that. And I agree with her. She did the right thing by getting out of that situation. But has anybody ever got with someone and it came out right? I love love. I love hearing about love. And although I'm a little bit of a hater right now, I still love love, right? I love love. I'm not really that bitter, just a little bit pequeño. But I do feel like um, when men and women get together, it's something magical, right? It's something that is great to see when a couple can get together. I used to be a matchmaker um, many, many years ago. I was constantly trying to hook people up because I like seeing people be happy. So I'm not a hater when it comes to love. I just feel that's why I'm having the show tonight. That's why I'm talking about spinning the block because, you know, I want to help that somebody out there who has been thinking about it. Maybe you're a guy and you've been thinking about should I try it again? Should I try my luck with her again? Or maybe you're a woman that he's trying to get you back and you don't know. You've been thinking about it, but should you? And I've already said that no, if he's an abuser, don't do it. Yes, please hit the like button if you're in here. Please go ahead and hit that like button. I don't see you don't seem like a jaded woman, just a realistic person who knows we're living in a cold world. Well, I don't think it's that we're living in a cold world. I think that life just comes with many different experiences for us, right? And I think that when you choose to love somebody else, you're choosing to accept that it may not be 100% the way you want it to be, right? And I would say I'm more of a cut and dry type of person. If something is not going the way I want it to, then I think I'll have a problem with it. In the past, I was very much like that, but nowadays, I'm more so willing to accept that people are flawed, that nobody is perfect. I know I'm probably the only one who is perfect. I'm not perfect, but I think I'm more willing to be more understanding. And perhaps when I was younger, I wasn't. And I think that could have been an issue in some of the relationships and friendships that I have. That if you cross me, you lost me, right? So nowadays, I would have to really consider, is it this person doesn't love me? Is this person just making a mistake? Is this person right for me? I would take all those things into consideration. But no, I don't think I'm bitter. I just look at things for what they are. But sometimes it's not that simple, right? Sometimes it's a little bit skewed. Sometimes that person drinks too much, but sometimes that person can turn it around. Sometimes you may need to separate for a bit of time so that that person can heal and get the help that they need. And then you can come back together after some time has passed and after that person has had a time getting an amount, a decent amount of time getting sober and changing their life. And I think that's the real thing about life is that person worth it to you? Is it worth it? Because I think we're going to have problems in our relationships no matter what. That's just life, right? At some point. Um, I don't think there's ever any relationships that where the person didn't have an issue with that other person, right? At some point. But you pick that person who you can deal with what they bring to the table. Because somebody may not be able to deal with me. Like a lot of men may see me as mouthy and too independent, too headstrong. But somebody, that one man is out there, and we all have that one man and that one woman. It's 8 billion people on this earth, so we all have our person. If we haven't found them yet, they're out there. But there's that one person who loves a woman just like me, who's looking for exactly me. So that's what it's going to take, right? Denise says, we not spinning the block. I think Elevator said he did, but never again. Ozzy says that link isn't clickable for me. Let me try it to put it back in the chat one more time. Because sometimes I know sometimes if you have an iPhone or something like that, Ozzy, sometimes it may be difficult. I know sometimes some people click it twice. You got to click on it twice, I think. Let me put it. So that might be what it is. You just have to click it twice. Yeah, Elevator said he would never do it again. Um, and I said I would never do it again either. But I know somebody is thinking about it, or somebody is already in a block spinning situation. So I just wanted to know, even if you said you would never do it again, I want to hear the story, the behind the scenes story about why you would never do it again. And you can comment it in the chat if you want to, if you if you're feeling shy. You said the link is not popping up like it should. Or it doesn't work for you on vertical live stream. I don't know why it's not popping up. but it's right there. I just put it up there. So I don't know, guys. Sorry about that. I hate that when it happens when you can't um click on the link. I know I did that with somebody before, or somebody had a problem with the link and they went to their desktop and was able to get on. But I'm not gonna hold you to all of that. If you can't get up, you can't get up. But maybe you can tell your story in the chat and I'll read from there. Okay, somebody's coming up. Elevated. Let's hear it, buddy.
Oh man. So the story I was saying in the chat was it happened to do like with my kid's mother.
Mm,
Um we were on and off dating. And my daughter was born, back in the day. We wound up splitting because I wasn't dealing with all of her nonsense. But she wound up moving from New York down to North Carolina. And I couldn't stand to be away from my child, so I just packed up one day and left, and I came and we wanted to work together, start fresh. And along the way my son was conceived, but then things just started changing. Like I moved off of my square. I started becoming, more in a given state than I was, in the beginning. And I feel like I was taken advantage of in that
mm,
sense. I started getting abused and everything else like that. And yeah, no, I'm not going to put my hands back on a woman because that's just not right. So I wound up eventually I had to just move into my own spot. But it's just crazy because the person that you have children with, if they could do you as dirty as that,
mm.
like why would I even give anybody else a chance that I don't have children with?
Well, I'm sorry you went through that. And I
Yeah,
was saying earlier how women can be abusive too.
right.
I know women can be just as cunning. They can be just as toxic. They
Mm-hmm.
can want to be controlling.
Yep.
If you're nice to them, and if
Yep.
you are the type of man that is not a wimp or docile, but you just like, okay, you're my woman. I'm going to take care of you and my child. They take advantage of that
Right.
because they're not used to getting that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're with somebody like that who doesn't respect you and who doesn't see you as being a good man, but sees you as being a pushover, then I wouldn't get back with somebody like that either because they're not going to change. Because to me, I don't care how somebody else is. I got to be me,
Right.
right?
Right.
I have to be who I am. And either I'm a good person or I'm not. If I
Right.
don't want you, I don't care what you have. I don't want you. And if
Exactly.
I want you, I don't care what you don't have.
Exactly.
I want you. But I can see how sometimes women, and I've been that woman. Like I said, I was toxic before too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I feel like the man isn't doing what, like when I was married, if I felt like he wasn't putting in the same amount of work as I would, then I would talk down and I would say things, right? And that's
Right.
not right. You have to be mature enough to say, you know what? I'm here, but that person is catching up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you marry that person and they're still catching up, then that's who you chose to marry, right?
Right.
So I think that's what we got to do too as well. I think in your example, in your case, unless that person probably really did a lot of growing up and changing, I don't know if you would. I know you said you wouldn't go back to them, but I definitely see why you said that. Because
Right.
why would you go back to somebody mistreating you and not treating you right? But I'll say this, don't allow that person who didn't do right by you to stop you from being with somebody who will,
Right.
because they win twice. They mistreated you and now they're preventing you from finding love again. Don't allow them to do that to you.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Right.
But even to touch a little bit deeper on the subject, is I I have quite a few females that's trying to spin the block on me, and I would not do it because I feel like if you didn't value me while we were together, what I could do, what I couldn't do, and you felt like you wanted more, which is respectable, go ahead, but don't use me as a backup plan and realize my value all of a sudden once you didn't find what you were looking for in somebody else. Then it's like, oh
Right.
well, Elevated really wasn't that bad. Like, let me see what he's. That's really
Yeah, I
good
was talking
perspective.
about that earlier too. How
That's
people
very.
see
Mm-hmm.
the grass is not greener somewhere else,
Right.
and they said, "Wait a minute, he did
Mm-hmm.
pick up my baby from daycare. He did
Right.
have the bill situated. I didn't have to worry about money. I could get my hair and nails done. You
Right.
know, I still had money. Now I'm broke.
Right.
Or now this guy, he's talking crazy to me, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's looking at my friends and trying to check them out when I got my head turned. And
Right.
Elevated wasn't doing that to me.
Right. Yeah. So that's just a no for me either way because I feel like as adults, either you really get it or you don't, and for me to allow you to, do whatever you want and then say, okay, well, you come back and then you're gonna see something else, somebody else that you want, and then it's not gonna work out because you feel like you could always just hit me back up on a random night or something and say, oh well, let's work on. No,
Right,
time is too short.
right, right. Well, let's see what the chat is talking about. Elevate. Let's see who
Okay.
we got in here. Okay, so hey, Focal Point Extension, thanks for tuning in. Focal Point says it's dark out here. Might as well stay with someone who brings you some type of light. Well, well, that's cool.
Hmm.
Sometime. Hey, Butterfly family and vlogs, thanks for tuning in. How are you doing tonight? Um, what's up, TSM? TSM did my track, Get Money. Thanks for
Okay.
tuning in, TSM. If you guys haven't did a short and you want to do a short on with that song, Get Money, you still have an opportunity to do that and win the $100 cash app. So there's that. I talked about that at the top of this live. Check out my community wall. I talk all of give all the details about the Get Money song and how you can win that.
Hmm.
Um, and Deneen says no, she did not value you. Butterfly
Right.
says you'll do your short tomorrow. That's what's up. I can't wait to see it. Get the kids on it. Me and my kids were actually going to do a short, but I got too tired. I was doing a lot of running around earlier today, and I had to get home and just chill out. So, but I think hopefully I can still convince them to do it with me because the Barbs they don't be fooling with me and my content creation aspirations. But when I get that content back, they be all
Right.
in my face like, "Mama, can we go here? Mama, can we do that?" They stay in my pockets, but
Right.
I'm gonna put them to work. They got to work for this. But thank you for coming up, Elevate.
Well,
I know you had something else you were saying before I went to the chat. What else is on your mind, boo?
no, that was all I had to say.
Thank you
Um,
for coming up. I appreciate that.
all
Anybody
right.
else want to come up and give me their story about spinning the block? I want to hear it. We all want to hear it. I want to hear about it, especially if it was messy and toxic. I'm just playing. But I do want to hear about it, whether it was messy and toxic or if it is, and especially if it worked out well. Thank you, Elevate and Ann, for sharing your story. I know that's not easy to come up here on the panel and share your life, but I appreciate you. And what it does for the rest of us, it shows us that we're all human. We all share the same experiences on some level. And, it's nothing wrong with wanting to give somebody else another try, right? Because sometimes our family will say, oh, you stupid, don't take them back. Or what about last time they did this and that? But you have to do what you have to do for you. And like Focal Point said, sometimes you just want to stay with somebody who you know will love on you, right? And I feel like the heart is going to protect itself. So sometimes you're going to stick around a lot longer than you should, or sometimes you're going to go backwards before you can move forward because you got to go back just to check and see. I want to give that person one last chance because they may have some act right. They may have gotten some act right, and I don't really want to move on until I know that for sure, right? So if you're feeling like that, and as long as that person isn't going upside your noggin, or fellas, if they're not trying to get you caught up and fired from your job and put in jail, if they're not on that level of toxic, if it's just a matter of having a disagreement or a difference in opinion, go ahead and give that person a chance, even if your hating family and friends don't want to see it happen because they sure will hate on our love, right? Go ahead and give that person a chance so you can see what it's all about. Because your family is not going to keep you warm at night. They have their boo, they have their husbands and their wives, and you'll be the third wheel. And what I found too, as people would tell you, oh no, I wouldn't give them another chance. But guess what? They're not going to leave their man for doing something similar. Or that man is not going to leave his wife. He's going to stay right with her. Or if his wife is going to take him back, he's going back home. So don't let nobody tell you. You feel me, butterfly? Are going to do what works for them or whatever is going to make them happy in a moment. So don't let nobody tell you what you should do. Do what's best for you as long as that person is an abusive, male or female, because male and females can be abusive. As long as they're not abusive in any way, go for it. I mean, you only live once, right? What are you guys talking about in the chat? You been busy today, Butterfly? Butterfly, did you go live today? I didn't see you go live today. Or if you did, I missed it. Right. Also, you only live once. You've been tricked out of your spot in your younger years. You got to tell us about that, Butterfly, because I want to hear more about that. Go ahead and let me go ahead and put that link back in the comments. Because I want to hear about this. I need to hear it from the horse's mouth too. What do you mean you got tricked out of your spot? In your younger years. Butterfly, who tricked you out of your spot? Here's the link. Come on up and tell us about it. We want to hear it. And guys, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I think for the rest of the month, I'm going to continue to have topics on my lives, and I'll probably go live like this, but I don't know, next month in July, I may be switching it up a bit. I'm not sure. Who knows? But sometimes I will still do panels and still do lives, depending. Dealing with the relationship, girl, if you don't hit that link and come and tell us about what was going on with that relationship, that's right. Like it up. I'll see. Like it up. Hit that thumbs up. You will come up next go around. Okay, tell us about it in the chat because I feel like our stories bring us together. We are more alike than we are different, right? No matter where you are in the world, you've been in love before, or you've had your heart broken before, or you've done both. I know I have a few times. And I still love love, but I'm a little gun shy, right? Even though I still hope to find my Prince Charming, or let me back it up. Even though one day I want my Prince Charming to find me, his princess, and we ride off into the sunset. Right now, I'm chilling. I'm chilling like a villain. I'm cool. I ain't for nobody's stuff. Also, you've never been in love before. I hate to hear it. Give it time. It'll happen. Like I said, it's 8 billion people on this earth. Your person is there. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you need to get out more. Maybe you need to, I don't know. You're a guy. You see somebody cute, say hi. Okay, what are you saying, Butterfly? Let's see what you said in the chat. I had a really good guy, and my friends and family made me feel he wasn't right for me. He was amazing. Ugh, I hate that for you. Why did they think he wasn't right for you? It was he wanted so much of my time and they were jealous. Ozzy says he's never been in a relationship. I personally need my life set before I worry about others. Well, I think that's very commendable of you because some people will get into a relationship knowing doggone well they are not ready. They're not ready to be selfless. They're not ready to commit. They're not ready to share their space. I'm talking about me. They're not ready to listen to the other person when they're going through. They're not willing to help out when that person needs them. So if you know you're not ready to give up your time for somebody else, then I think that you should stay by yourself. Maybe have friends and go out and hang out with some of your guy friends and girlfriends in a group setting, right? Because who likes being alone? You can still have friends that you do things with, but maybe you're not quite ready for a relationship. Back to you, Butterfly. When you say your family and friends didn't see him for you and he wanted all of your time and wanted to monopolize your time, maybe they weren't jealous. That speaks like he might have been a little bit like, I don't know, like he didn't want you to be with anybody else. I don't know. Maybe they felt like he was a little bit too controlling or monopolizing of your time. What do you think? You just never know, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, when I'm in love, and I don't want to be around my family and friends like that. I want to be booed up. Have you ever been in love and just want to be booed up with your man or your woman? It's not that you're trying to be funny. You're just really in love and you just want to be with them. I've been like that. But if I say I want to go kick it with my sisters or I want to go see my mom and we've been chilling for weeks on end, I shouldn't have a problem doing that. Like, if you feel like I can't go and see my family and friends or something after we've been kicking it, big kicking it and chilling, ducked off in the cut, then I don't know. Because I don't want somebody telling me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. And when I want to kick it with you and chill with you, I'll kick it with you and I'll chill with you. When I want to go on and be about my business, I'm going to do that. So as long as you don't try to tell me what to do, as long as you're not trying to handcuff me, we're straight, right? So yeah, know the difference. Know the difference between somebody wanting to, be booed up with you and somebody who wants to alienate you from the rest of your family so they can get you right where they want you and so they can really start abusing you. You were in a relationship with a Gemini and it was a disaster. I'm sure every woman has a Gemini story. Every woman has a Gemini story. Highly, highly do not recommend. Highly do not recommend. Oh no, I'm gonna leave the Geminis alone. Um, I think I don't really go by astrological signs. I go by the person. Um, but I do agree that sometimes you can find familiarity in some people, right? So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Let me see. Hey, money, you better not be coming in here talking about Jazzy. You know what, Ozzy? I was just saying that. I was just piggybacking on what Butterfly was saying about Geminis, but I was also saying that I really don't go by uh, astrological signs or whatever, astrology or whatever. I'm not that type of person that sometimes, though, I feel like that some signs. I feel like there is power in that, but I don't feel like we should judge people based off of that. I don't, as a Christian, I don't subscribe to those type of practices. I know that some people do, right? But if I meet somebody or I feel like they remind me of someone, I'll say that. But I think that people are just people. And I think really what it is we are more alike than we are different, right? So if we see certain character traits, we might subscribe them to an astrological sign. But I think it's just really character traits of we humans. We all have similar traits. We may not possess all the same traits, but groups of people have the same type of traits, right? Depending on who they are. Jeannie says she's a Gemini and she will not date one. I know that's right, Jenny. Big Three says he doesn't know if he's a Leo or a Cancer. That's crazy. She said, I would not date a Gemini. Why won't you date a Gemini, Jeannie? Geminis need love too, okay? And you never know. That Gemini might be the best Gemini you ever met. That's why we shouldn't ask people things like that. Oh, when's your birthday? When's your sign? Because now you're basing him, how you're going to feel about him on somebody else rather than taking the time to get to get to know that person, right? Male Geminis require too much attention. I think men require a lot of attention. They're like plants. You got to water them, feed them, give them sunlight. You got to talk to them nice. You got to make sure you're paying attention to them. Or next thing you know, you start losing leaves, right? So men are like that. If you want a man, and men, if you want a woman, you have to be willing to get in there and get your hands dirty, right? You can't just have a man and say, well, I'm not going to take care of my man. Like he's not just going to be there. You got to put your effort into that. Something that the mommy money getter is not really into doing at this time in life. I don't want to do that for anybody but my children, right? Sometimes they got to get the heck out of my face. They're older now. They can do it themselves. They're not babies anymore. But even with my children, I have to make sure as a mom that I'm attending to their needs, that I'm not just making sure they have a roof over their head and they have their essentials. I have to make sure I'm taking care of their needs, like making sure that I'm checking in with them, asking them how their day is going, and that I'm looking to see. And I think with the relationships, we don't do that as much as we should. We don't look at our spouses and say, hey, they're acting different this week. We take it personally and we don't really stop and say, okay, are they okay? Are things going okay at work? Do we need a date night? Do I need to give them space? Am I putting too much on them? You know what I mean? Okay, you said you're Gemini. Let's see what's going on in the chat, in the chatteroni. Butterfly says her Gemini was perfect until his mask came off. Ozzy says, okay, I'm going to stay away from Geminis then. See, you can't go by that, Ozzy. That was their experiences with one out of a billion people. Again, there are a billion people on this earth, and everybody is not the same. I think that was, I think we're just overgeneralizing something that should be subjective to each person that we meet, to an individual. We can't just say, oh, you're a Gemini, you're definitely like this. And also, I feel like there's power in the tongue. So if you say to yourself, all Gemini men are like this, guess what? Then you're going to find a reason for that man to be like that. Butterfly says, don't let me sway you, Ozzy. Yeah. I mean, you guys could be onto something. You could be completely right, but at the same time, you can also be wrong. I think you should give everybody a chance based on how they treat you. Butterfly says, I bet all his mistakes were someone else's fault. I don't know. Like, again, Jeannie, I think that that's just human nature, right? Sometimes people are just people. bad people are bad people and good people are good people. It's not really their sign. I don't know. But guys, it is getting late. I know some of you are, well, not you, Ozzy. You are like what, a day ahead? It's already like you're already in Thursday. Like, what were you, 14 hours ahead? You said, Ozzy? Remind me, how many hours are you ahead? Yeah, I don't like generalizations either. You know, even though we all have our stereotypes and stuff like that, like male stereotypes, female stereotypes, we all have them. Oh, you said 14 hours ahead. So that would make it 11 a.m. where you're at. It's about 11-ish. You're getting ready to have lunch. Guys, again, thank you for tuning in tonight. I appreciate everybody for stepping by. If you didn't like the live, please go ahead and hit that like button now. And tomorrow I'll be going live probably in the morning. I'll probably do something motivational. So subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out if I go live in the morning. It won't be a live panel like this. I don't know if I'll do a live panel tomorrow or not. It's a lot hosting, you guys, you know, keeping the conversation going, inviting people up. Let me know, though, if you like this live or if you didn't or you want something similar, comment below or shoot me an email. My email is in my bio. And like I said, get on that Get Money short challenge. I love the song. I'll be putting up a Get Money short with probably the Barbs tomorrow. I'll be doing more Get Money videos myself. If I get the most likes, I guess I win, right? Just kidding. Whoever gets the most likes is the winner. And make sure you have put the hashtag Mommy Money Getter. If you don't put the hashtag, then you are not eligible to win. So make sure you show your girl love in your short, right in the description, right? And I want to see some dances. Like, can somebody get a dance challenge going with the Get Money? Get money. What you say, huh? Okay, that's enough. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Love, love, love you guys. You guys are the best. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.